In today's video, we're taking a look at a brand new product that just hit the market, the Heatbit, and its sole purpose is to be a heater, but underneath it all, it's a Bitcoin miner. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, the team over at Heatbit reached out to me a few weeks ago and wanted to get my thoughts and feelings on their brand new product, and the timing could not be better. I've been looking for an avenue to heat my basement down here for a few weeks now, and I've been running a few of these. These are Gold Shell Mini ASIC miners that are script miners. They mine Doge and Litecoin, and they do an okay job, but even with 3 of these running in my basement, it's still about 66 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't terrible, except I have my mother-in-law come and stay with me a few times throughout the month, and it's a little chilly, and I've been meaning to get a heater down here, but I'm a home crypto miner, so it's like, you need a heater, I got a miner. The downside is these don't really do the job for me, and I have 2 L3s, but they're noisy, doing 75 dB or higher, and kind of would feel bad. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know that the wife would let me get by with running one of those in the basement with my mother-in-law trying to sleep. So when Heatbit reached out to me, I was like, perfect. I can mine, create some heat, and heat the basement. So today we're going to unbox the Heatbit, get it set up, and then we're going to do some testing here and there to see how many watts it uses and talk about the hardware inside of it, because it is a Bitcoin ASIC, and talk about exactly what it is and its performance. So stay tuned. All right, I gotta give props where it is definitely due. The design team behind the packaging, hell yeah. So there is a little pull tab, and you just literally do, it's almost like a zipper, but it's made out of cardboard, and you go all the way around. The entire lid just comes off easily, and this is exactly what you see. And take a look at this, guys. Woo! A+ for presentation. Well done. So right away you have this little piece of paper with instructions, nice and simple and easy. It says first step, it wants us to go ahead and plug the unit in. It says turn on the power switch on the back side, LED starts to blink. We download an app, it gives us the QR code, and then we press Heatbit and follow the instructions. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get this beast unboxed, and we'll take a look at it physically before we get everything set up. All right guys, so here we have it, the Heatbit, heck yeah. I got the wood paneled one. I thought this would look nice down here with some of the wood flooring that you guys do see. So there is just a little button in the front here, power button for the front of the unit. You can see right through it at the top. This is your exhaust, and it looks like, looking in here, there is some sound dampening foam at the top part of this, but you can see straight through. So your exhaust, or your heat side, is going to come out the top. Taking a look at the rest of the unit, down below here, this is actually your intake. The intake's going to come in on this side and on the other side there. Outside of that, there's not really much more to this unit. Now here's one thing I looked at, I'm super happy to see this, so kudos to the Heatbit team. The cord that it comes with, I'm glad it's attached to the unit, you can't unplug it and such from that side. This is 14 gauge, so I'm happy to see that. I was concerned that it would be like a cheap 18 gauge cable, which would not be rated for what we're doing. Kudos to those guys, 14 gauge cable, nicely done. Now there is a power switch right here to turn it off and on. There's little wheels on the back there to move it, and take a look. That's it. All right, so here is what I've learned. So the Heatbit will give out plenty of heat. It actually will handle about 170 square feet, which will work perfect for my basement here. In addition to that, it's being heated by a Bitcoin ASIC miner. More specifically, it has an S9 in there. And if you guys have no clue what the heck an S9 is, some of you may, some of you won't, the S9 is a Bitcoin ASIC miner. Its sole purpose is mining Bitcoin, and it will do 14 terahash, which is a metric of performance, at 1400 watts total. Now, 1400 watts is the entire unit. It's not just the ASIC, but if you're looking at one of these and kind of want to determine, can you run something like that in your house, 1400 watts, but you'll go ahead and Bitcoin mine at 14 terahash at the exact same time. Well, with that in mind, I don't have an S9 to do a nice little apples to apples comparison, but what I thought would be fun would be to take my L3++ power it up and get a meter reading as to how loud this would be, which this is kind of in that mid-range ASIC family, which is very similar to what you have in here with the S9. So let's first go ahead, and I have my phone here with a dB meter, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick test to see what it is with nothing running and me being quiet. And then we'll get this powered up and we'll test it, and then we'll go ahead and get that guy powered up. So let's do a quick test. Okay, so ambiently, with nothing else going on down here, we're at about 60 to 61 dB per average after just a few seconds. So let's now go ahead and get this powered up, give it a few minutes, and we'll do a test as to comparing it a little bit with sound. All right, so my L3++ has been up and running for a few minutes now, so let's do a quick test to see how loud it is. All right, so after a few seconds, we're averaging about 77 dB. So that kind of gives you an idea if I was to put this in the corner and let it run, which I could if no one was really staying down here and I work in the other room full time. But it's probably not something I want to have running all night long with my mother-in-law here and stuff like that. So let's get this powered down. I'm going to get my Heatbit set up with the instructions here, and we'll see how it does. Okay, so let's follow our instructions. So I've plugged it in. I actually have it plugged into a voltage meter in the floor here, so we'll take a look at that. So we're plugged in step 1. Step 2, we press the button on the back side of this unit that I showed you guys earlier in the video. Step 3, we need to press the button in the front. All right, and now is telling us we need to download the Heatbit app. So I've gone ahead and done that on my phone here. Let me go ahead and bring that up. We're going to open up the Heatbit app, and then it says press the plus Heatbit and follow the instructions in the app. So let's see exactly what happens here. So I can hear a little bit of fan spin up tiny bit over here. It looks like we're at about 34 watts right now, and I can hear it ramping up even more. Actually, we're about 40 to 50. Oh, we just jumped up to 150. Okay, so now we're in the Heatbit app that you guys can see on screen right now, and we're going to go ahead and do enter, and it's going to ask us for our phone number information. So I'm going to put in something for right now to get us by. Okay, so we're into the app right now, and pretty cool UI. I like it with the black and orange look to it. At the top, it has the Bitcoin current price. It also gives us how many Satoshis, that's cool. And then you can show it in Bitcoin or in US dollar, and then we want to hit the plus symbol here for Heatbit, and it's going to go ahead and search for it. So my understanding is that not only do we have an S9 in this unit with the Heatbit here, but we also have a Raspberry Pi. So there's like a Raspberry Pi that's kind of the brain that's handling everything, that'll allow you to connect to it or and manage everything like with the app and all, especially with wireless, because there is no wired connection on this unit. All right, so we are connected in the app. Dude, this app is pretty cool looking. So now it's going to go ahead and ask us to connect to our home wireless, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we're connecting to the home wireless now. Let's give it a minute here. It wants to know if it can connect. We're going to hit connect. Connect your Heatbit. We're at step 3 of 4 right now. It says it's connected. Awesome. So let's see what's next. All right. Congrats on starting your Heatbit journey. Together, we'll bring a new era to Bitcoin mining. I like it. PS, 1 Bitcoin equals 100 million Satoshis. I like how they put that in there. The button, the only thing, you can't say okay, you have to say cool. So we'll go ahead and click that. And here we go, name your Heatbit. So we're gonna put basement in here as to its location. We're gonna agree. Okay, so here's what I've learned. So the second button over here at the bottom, I can go ahead and click on that. And this is where you can view kind of everything with your wallet and all of that stuff. So in here, you can withdraw to your Bitcoin wallet or to your bank card actually. And then in addition to that, you can schedule payments. So this actually, I found out, Heatbit utilizes something called NiceHash. NiceHash is a third-party platform that many miners that are watching this right now are familiar with. So what this does is it mines to NiceHash, but you don't have to put in your account info. Then when you're ready to withdraw, or you can set up scheduled payments to withdraw it directly to your Bitcoin account. So for me, I have a Bitcoin wallet already, of course, so I'm going to set up at the bottom, you can do schedule to my Bitcoin wallet. And then it's going to pretty much prompt you for the details there. We automatically withdraw your crypto every 15th day of the month. and it says a minimum withdrawal of $20. You can deactivate scheduled payouts at any time. So I'm just going to hit agree, and then I can put in my Bitcoin wallet in here. So pretty much you're set that it would mine and pay you out as you want to. So that's really, really nice. So the Bitcoin isn't going to stay on their wallet or the app long. It'll go ahead and pay out on the 15th of every month as long as it's hit that $20. If not, it'll schedule again. Something else I noticed within the app, which is kind of nice, there's a little like chat feature in the bottom, and you can actually chat with their bot, their support bot, but there is that button to say talk to a human, which is really nice. So you can get support for your unit directly within the app. So that's definitely something different. You don't see that too often. I'd love to see some more of these turnkey solutions include that. That is a really good option. Last one here, you have a gear, and you can go in and you can go to their website, you can email them, report bugs, personal data, stuff like that. Okay, so it took me a little bit, and we'll talk about that towards the end of this video here. I'll discuss some things I found and my thoughts and feelings of this unit as a home miner. So it's not all infomercial, promise. So in that regard, I do have the app up and running now, so I'm happy with that. And we are into the app. I am at 100% heating right now, so I can actually put my hand here and feel the heat coming out, which is actually really, really nice. And the noise actually isn't that bad, so we're going to test that out here in just a second. It's actually quieter than I thought, and we're at 100% right now. There is a 75% mode and a 50% mode. Now, I want to let you guys know at 100%, I can go ahead, and it might be difficult to see here, but I'll put it up on screen. We are at 1100 watts. Give or take a few there, but 1100 watts. So if you guys are interested, you have to make sure though that you can actually support 1100 watts. So I don't have anything else on this circuit. It's a 15 amp 120, and so if you guys do the math there, you know, that can handle about 1800 watts. But to be safe with the 80-20 rule, which you always want to go that route, you really only can use 1440 watts total to be safe. So we're safe with this, you know, as we talked about, we're only at 1100 and we're at 100% right now. Now, the one thing I noticed within the app while we're talking through it, we're only at 11.3 terahash, but I don't know how often that updates, if that's pulling directly from the unit, if that's pulling from the pool side, I'm not totally sure. But this is pretty sweet, I'm liking it so far. So let's go ahead and I'll do a test now to show you guys how loud it actually is. Okay, so let's go ahead and test out how loud this is. If you guys remember, our ambient noise was 61 dB. When we went ahead and hooked up our L3++, that was at 77 dB. So let's go ahead and test it. Man, look at that. We are at 59 dB. So it actually, like, it's right at that reason of error, you know, within that 1% reason of error. So literally the decibel meter is not even showing any sound difference here, but I can put my hand to the back end side of this and the front, and I can feel the heat pumping out, which is really, really nice. Now if I put my hand down here at the bottom, I can actually feel the air getting pulled in at the floor level, which is really, really cool. So this is pretty sweet. So let's get this in place and show you guys exactly where I'm going to run it. All right, guys, so I've gone ahead and put my Heatbit here in the corner. I've given it a decent amount of distance between the wall, not to have it snug right up against the wall with that heat pumping out the front and the back of the unit. This part of my basement gets the most drafty with the window right up here, so I thought this would be a perfect place to test it. So right now it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna give this about an hour and we'll check back in and see how it's doing. All right, guys, so it has been 1 hour total and it's gone up about just over 1 full degree at the windowsill. But what I also wanted to do was measure at the center of the room to give you an idea, because it is drafty, as I said over here. So the center of the room has definitely benefited the most, and we're currently at 68 degrees right now, which is great. So, oh, look at that, just went up to 69 degrees, which is fantastic. So anyways, I'm really happy with the results. It's heating, but it's not overbearing, which is really nice. All right, so the Heatbit, man, that product, that tech is very cool. I'm very happy with it. I ran into some little bugs here and there, like with powering it up and getting the light to power on entirely. It took a few times of like unplugging it, letting the power drain, because you guys know how ASICs are, where like it'll hold the power for a little bit of time, but we did get it up and running. Just took a few times here and there, and that's what I was talking about earlier with it being like a tiny bit buggy. The power on process I think needs to get a little bit more streamlined, but as of right now we're good to go, which is nice. It's working in the corner. I'm not super upset with it. From the tech perspective, it's cool tech, I'll be honest with you. It looks good, it's eye appealing. Now, as a home miner and an enthusiast, which most of you guys are that are watching my channel about the Heatbit right now, let's talk about that. So for us as enthusiasts, we want that advanced mode button. So if Heatbit's watching, which I hope you are, I would love to see an advanced mode feature where like within the app, there's like, hey, are you an advanced miner? Yes, and then the app flips, and then you can set your pool. You can set like your miner name and your password, and you can just do manage it all on the pool side, so that you know, we as home miners and enthusiasts, we feel a little bit more comfortable. We want that control. Now, as a normal consumer, let's say, put on your normal consumer hat here, where you've heard of Bitcoin and you've heard of mining, and you're like, oh, that's cool, but you know nothing really about it. The app is designed perfectly. It's simple, it's easy. The integration with NiceHash, just scheduled payouts. I mean, if you, right now I'm mining and I haven't put in my Bitcoin wallet yet. I will be putting that in 100%, but it'll just store it right on their wallet. You'll have transparency on there, and then you can go ahead and schedule it out. So kudos to them. Like, you've made a really good turnkey product, which works out nicely. So let's now go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, which as home miners and enthusiasts is one of the early things that we look at. So this unit is using older technology. It's an S9, which is several years old. It only does 14 terahash, and it uses a lot of watts. Now on the website it says up to 1400 watts. I haven't seen it go above 1150 so far, and I've had a voltage meter on it. So between the old tech and hardware that's in it and the hard pill to swallow of $1,100, I think you really, if you're gonna look at a product like this, you're really gonna have a need for it. Like for me, I have a need for it right here in my basement, and I need heat in my basement and it being really quiet. Now I could get away with like a GPU mining rig if I wanted to, and that's always an option as well, but this is very aesthetically pleasing and my wife is okay with it. So that's a huge win. Is it worth $1,100? I don't know. That's for you guys to decide really, and really go ahead and kind of figure out. Now, something I want to do, and I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I'm going to talk about doing it anyway, is I want to open this thing up and take it apart in a future video. I think it would be really cool to see how this is designed, how they put the ASIC in there, what fans are they using, what Raspberry Pi do they have in there, how do they have it designed up? I mean, aesthetically it looks awesome, but my brain all of a sudden starts turning like, what is inside this Heatbit? So guys, that's it for today. This was fun. I love getting my hands on new tech. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put a link directly down below to Heatbit's website, and it'll bring you over there. You guys can take a look at the exact unit I have and let you guys decide if you guys want to get your hands on one of these. But I'll be honest, I am super happy with it. Thank you, Heatbit, for sending it out for my review. I do appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And finally, don't forget to subscribe. Take care.